Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're watching episode 8 of a season 2 of a live action of One Piece. I loved episode 7. I thought it was the best episode of the live action so far, both season 1 and season 2 combined. So my hopes for episode 8 are pretty high, but not that high either because I thought Monster Chopper looked ridiculous, so that makes me a little bit worried about how it's going to play out in this episode, not to mention Wapol and Dalton, so we'll see about that. Alright, without any further ado, let's get started. Honestly, I've gone really attached to this little intro. I'm going to miss it now.
King Wapol has returned.
Whoa. He got captured very quickly. Off screen. My favorite.
There is no throne fit for a king who abandons his people.
True. I see they're using a lot of cuts. That's a pretty smart way to avoid having to show Wapol actually eating weird stuff. What? They didn't know that he had a devil fruit?
There he is, my once loyal beast.
Oof. Okay, Dalton doesn't look too bad, but they made him so weak. Wow, I can see where the budget went.
Miss all Sunday.
So you survived Little Garden.
Honestly, what is she doing here?
You hound us again and again.
You know, it's getting a little bit annoying because I can totally tell that she's here only because they want to have Nico Robin in every single episode. There is absolutely no justification narratively for having her here.
And now he's on his way to reclaim his throne.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I wonder if you and the Straw Hats can stop him.
Nico Robin wouldn't care about that. This is so out of character.
As you watch your friends die, do so with the knowledge that the same fate shall befall the people of Alabasta.
This is completely out of character. I'm sorry. This is really not Nico Robin. See, once again, I keep on complaining. Every single time they add something, they add dialogue and scenes that are not in the manga. They're missing the point entirely. Nico Robin only follows Crocodile because she wants access to the poneglyph. She doesn't care about the rest. It's actually a really important part of her character that when she spends time with Luffy and the Straw Hats, suddenly she starts to care. Before that, she doesn't.
He went down to investigate. He hasn't been back. Those things must have got him.
We need to get Luffy.
Okay, I'm starting to get very worried because even Jacob, who's the best actor in the show, I mean, at least among the main ones, his delivery right there, very poor.
How does it work?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? It's a bow, an arrow.
Hold on!
How fast will it go?
Well done, princess.
That was way too easy, I'm sorry. And what's the point of having Vivi there? I don't get it.
I'm self-taught. Through and through. Start with my mum.
You would cook with your mom?
He was a terrible cook back then, so...
Cooking was a way I could show my love for her.
Spelling out all the emotions that we're supposed to... The marks of a very good writer. This is not promising so far. This episode is bad.
Oh, my little prince, what have you brought for me today?
She used to look at the lunchbox.
Can someone please give a reminder to the Netflix writer that the first rule of filmmaking is show, don't tell. There are plenty of ways we could have filmed this without needing an entire speech.
But then came the day where I didn't have to make any more lunches.
This is so over the top and exaggerated. Like, I'm completely fine with Sanji crying right now. But Nami crying? Come on. This is so on the nose. This is so like, hey guys, look, audience, this is how you should feel. You should be crying right now. Are you crying in front of your TV? Sorry, I get very passionate about these things, but these are like mistakes that you see students make, not professional writers.
Surprised a scrawny thing like you managed to get all the way up here.
It's what needed to be done.
No, because you're not going to do anything more here.
Oh yeah, we're going down the mountain all right. But not for a fight. We're going back into hiding.
Again, this is not how Korea would act. This is completely out of character.
The people who shot at you, you want to help them? Have fun dying, kid.
Whoever wrote this episode does not understand anything about One Piece or its characters. There is not a single choice I agree with so far.
Her treatment isn't finished. I can transfer her to a walking IV so we can move her.
Yeah, that's true. Korea would never leave Nami behind.
We'll hold them off. Take what you need and find a safe place to shelter.
Again, same thing. That's not Zoro-like to act like this. Zoro would find indirect ways to be helpful. He wouldn't just be like, hey guys, you know, be careful. Why would they just let him go? I mean, in the manga, they think he's dead. He's been, you know, under the snow. But here, what's the excuse?
When does a man die?
You don't get to say those words.
She wasn't there for that speech. She doesn't know that he said that. Who wrote that shit? You know, the fan of One Piece in me just get pissed off because just stick to the manga. Why do you have to make those changes? Why do you have to try and rewrite something that's already good?
I can't let anyone else die because of that tyrant, Walpole. This is our last chance. If we don't stand up now, we will forever be under his heel. I'm gonna fight.
You already fought and you lost. Because they made it so bad.
Princess Vivi of Alabasta.
Who's this guy?
I eat pretzel sticks like you for breakfast.
Well, then let's hope you're hungry.
He's always hungry.
Your turn for what, exactly? You're still the same scared little girl from all those years.
Okay, I see why they wanted her here. Because they want to have that girl power moment. Because that's Netflix.
The suffering of your people shows you know nothing about what it means to lead. My father does.
Ah, and the music. Oh my god. Subtlety. Zero. Nothing.
I, Nefertari Vivi, daughter of Nefertari Cobra, am no coward.
All of this just for that.
He didn't just take your army. He ate your army. And he spit him back out looking like...
And how do you know that? You were not there either. My god. Who are these writers? Who wrote that shit? Okay, so we didn't get Lapins, but we get that. Oh my god. You know, in my other reactions, I mentioned that every single time they try to get away from a manga, it's just bad. And I try to give them credit a little bit by saying, oh, it's because Oda is such a good writer. You know, he's a genius. So obviously, even if it's just good when you're comparing to a work of a genius, it's going to badly compare. But this is not even good. This is bad. This is terrible. Like, what's the point of that? Like, how much money did they spend on that? That could have been spent better in other places. Now, some people will say, oh, it's an adaptation. They have to take some freedom, blah, blah, blah. That's arguable, I guess. But if that's the kind of freedoms they take, I don't want that. I'm not interested in that.
All right, Soba. Time to be monsters.
Yeah!
My god, it's so painfully obvious that it's a guy in a costume. These guys, like... Because their costumes are so bad, they look absolutely like no menace at all for Chopper or Sanji.
Oh, man.
Hopefully Nami won't notice.
See, the problem of making this the season finale is that now they have to make all the characters a lot more powerful and a lot less ridiculous than they actually were. You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of Ninja Turtles 2: The Secret of Views. If you've never seen this masterpiece of camp, you have to watch it. Oh, when I was 5 years old, I thought it was the best thing ever made. The best movie ever made. And then I grew up and I realized how shit it was. Okay, that was in the manga. So that's good.
Not for long, you freak.
My name is Tony Chopper.
Oh my god, I just can't. His face is ridiculous. Oh my god. Like, they nail his other two forms. This is perfect. Luffy doesn't need help from Vivi. What the hell is that shit? Like, why are they nerfing Luffy like this? Will Chopper have other transformations in this? Or are they going to ignore it? So he kicked him like 50 times and that's the kick that does it?
Didn't know if you were coming back.
The people of Drum are the heart of this country, and I will not stop fighting to protect them.
Oh my god, who writes this shit? Hold on. Oh god. Oh. This is like B-movie level. Seriously. Like, I'm not joking when I'm talking about The Secret of Views. This is the same level.
How dare you! Drum Kingdom is a member of the world government. Attacking me is an international crime!
Honestly, I liked Wapol a lot better in the manga and in the anime. At least he was funny. This one, he's not even funny. He's just annoying.
No!
And I'm sorry, but having this scene in the middle of a random room is nowhere near as impactful as having the flag on the top of the castle.
Isn't that right, Chopper?
Oh my god, I can't. Every time we have a close-up on his face, it's so ridiculous. Oh my god. The worst part is that I'm sure the makeup was like 10 hours to get to that.
So that's a pirate.
Seriously, make him go back to his small form. I know why they keep him like that. It's because it's a lot cheaper than having to animate Baby Chopper. Oh, and because subtlety is not on their resume, look how Wapol is going to destroy his own throne.
We have to help him.
No, you don't! Fuck, it's Luffy! He doesn't need your fucking help!
I got you.
Oh, look! The power of friendship is going to... See? What did I tell you? Destroy the throne! Wow, who would have predicted that? Zoro would not be defeated by henchmen like this. That cut was terrible. What? You telling me that Wapol is dead or something? I mean, like, does it work like Sugar's power? Like, you just need to knock him out and suddenly everything he created just disappeared? Do they realize that if that's true, then Wapol metal could not exist in the world of One Piece? Because all it would take is for Wapol to be knocked out, for every single thing made of Wapol metal to just disappear. Well played, Netflix, well played.
Hey, we're gonna be good, everybody!
Seriously, I still can't believe that they took the lady who's a joke in the manga and made her into an actual character. You know, it's weird because Dalton doesn't look so bad.
Consider your bill paid in full.
Korea would never say that! My god! These people don't understand the characters they're working with. Oh, it's pissing me off. I don't buy for a second that Oda validated this. You know, I'm fully convinced that this is a massive lie.
I'm not a human like the rest of you. I could never be part of your group. It's impossible.
Just shut up and come with
You know, again, they completely missed the mark emotionally because it's not just...
I'll join you.
See, it's too easy. Chopper needed more time to get to the idea of becoming a pirate. You couldn't just convince him in like one 30-second conversation. Like that moment where Luffy says, shut up and come with us. He's already been trying to convince him for like, I don't know, hours maybe.
Finally, my assistant shows up. You sure did a number around here.
And watch as she's going to become exactly like her manga self suddenly after being a completely different character for the rest of the episode.
A little crybaby reindeer is going to be a pirate? You will never survive out on the seas.
See? This scene does not work because she was a completely different character just 2 minutes ago. If you're going to change her character's personality, you have to stick with it all the way to the end of the episode. You can't just change halfway through and be like, hey, suddenly we're going to go back to the manga.
Everybody get in. We're going down the mountain and out to sea.
Another chopper?
See? This is so painfully obvious here that they're in a studio because you don't see anything behind them. It's all black. It's completely different than in episode 4, I believe, where you see them on the ship in Little Garden. Okay, so when are we going to see the cherry blossoms? Oh, the rumble bowls.
Found one in the armory.
Oh, there's just gonna be one in this? See, it's so painfully obvious that they're in a studio that scene doesn't hit nearly as well as it does in the anime. Also, the fact that the rest of the episode was shit doesn't help either. That's a nice touch, though. I like that.
Then maybe a reindeer can be a pirate.
What wonder fools are capable of.
It's fools that have saved this place.
No one talks like that. No one.
The will of D lives on.
I wonder, you know, given that she's 141 now in the manga, I wonder if we're ever going to see a young Korea, like, in a flashback one day. Maybe she met Brooke, actually. I'm really not sold on Vivi. Her performance is not very good.
I appreciate you all.
I kept on going back and forth. Sometimes I felt she's pretty good. I wonder if it has to do with the director of the episode, because I know it's not always the same director. So I wonder if the director influences acting, because I feel like it's very inconsistent.
Come now. It's good for me. It's good for you.
How did they take such a great actor and make him look so ridiculous? Oh my god, worst episode in the show. We went from the best one to the worst one. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's talk about it. I want to give credit where credit is due, guys. This show is actually pretty good considering how incredibly difficult it is to adapt One Piece. One Piece is a crazy, wacky world, and the fact that they were able to do a TV show that's actually pretty solid and decent overall is already an accomplishment that they can be proud of. But you see, it's very frustrating for me to see that they go from being able to create an episode that's very strong, very well made, very good quality, like episode 7, and then go to something that's on the level of some of the worst B movies I've seen in my life. because that was terrible. And that was terrible on so many levels. They completely misrepresent the characters. Korea would never behave like that. She would never just abandon the castle and Chopper. It makes zero sense for her to do that. They spell out everything in the dialogue, and then those monster soldiers are coming out of nowhere. I cannot believe that the production team spent money and time and effort on something so shit when they could have used that money in better places. And then having Luffy struggle against Wapol to the point that he needs Vivi's help? What the hell is that? And I'm sorry, but I know exactly what's happening here. This is Netflix wanting to prop up the female characters, so they're like, hey, we need to show how strong and powerful they have. We can't just have a scene where, just the MC just get to do all the work and the female character is just looking. No, we can't have that. Why? If you really wanted to have Vivi have a strong moment, why not? But then just have her stay in the village and fight the gods. Why not? Just show that she can be helpful there. You don't need her to be helping Luffy of all people. She's not helping Chopper. She's not helping Usopp. She's helping fucking Luffy, the stronger character in the crew. A character who's so much stronger than her by who knows how many magnitudes. And they're like, wow, he needs her help. Come on. And then Korea obviously fighting. It's so obvious what Netflix is doing. If you want to have a female character that has a strong moment, I have no problem with that, but you need to craft it well. I complained a little bit in episode 6 about the fillerish feel of the little side quest that Smoker and Tashigi went on. But at the very least, I can give them credit because they crafted a scene where Tashigi actually fights a swordsman. And it actually makes sense because we know that Tashigi and Smoker actually captured that character. It's in the manga. We don't know how they captured him, but we know they captured him. So having a little fight scene where we discover that it's Tashigi who fought him and who captured him, that works for me. That's the kind of freedom I'm actually okay with. Personally, I have no problem with filming characters having great moments and being strong, and if that's what Netflix wants to do, no problem. But be smart about it. Find ways to do it that make sense within the context of the story. Don't change the power levels. Don't rewrite the source material just so that it can suit your own little vision of what it should be. Be respectful of it. I know a lot of people are gonna love the show regardless, for the simple reason that we were expecting such a terrible show, but the fact that it was good, people are still going to defend it no matter what. But personally, I think it's important to be honest. It's important to be able to tell when something is done well and when something is not done well. And this season was a mixed bag. It had some highs that were brilliant and it had some lows that were absolutely terrible. It's frustrating for me that this is the last episode of the season because now it's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. It's made with love for the source material. I will give him that. The production design team is incredible in terms of sets and props and all those kinds of things. But the writing team is bad. Clearly, I'm sorry, they're just terrible. And the direction is very inconsistent. I know that pretty much every single episode was directed by a different person. At least I think like that. Maybe there's a couple directors who directed a couple episodes. I'm not too sure. But the problem is the directors of this show are very different in talent, because even in this episode, even Jacob Romero, who's the best actor among the Straw Hats, even he had terrible delivery in this episode. So I know it's not an acting problem. This is a directing problem. So that means this episode was not only badly written, it was poorly directed as well. I'll probably do another video in a few days where I'll share my thoughts in a more calm manner and try to be a little bit more balanced and nuanced in my review. But for me, that last episode was a train wreck. It was a B-movie level. As a fan of One Piece, this felt like an insult to me. Alright guys, that's it for my reaction today. I know some of you are not going to be happy about it and are going to give this video a thumbs down, and that's fine. You are more than welcome to do so if you want. But for the people who agree with me, or the people who appreciate my honesty, even if they disagree with me, then give it a thumbs up, and you guys can leave me your thoughts in the comments below. But please, stay respectful, because that's what matters. Alright guys, I'll see you soon for another reaction. Cheers.